Buddy, welcome to our first lecture for the lockdown. This is not going to cover that much content. It's fundamentally more about what our processes are going to be like for learning during lockdown with regard to the mobile computing course. Okay, so I want to start off with just some of our guiding principles. Okay, so just a little bit of background. The main reason that mobile computing exists is to get you good at programming in Java. So initially this used to be a Java course, just purely Java. And why it was shifted to Android was just so that you could find the programming a bit more fun. Because as soon as you find it more fun, you program more. And when you program more, you get much better at programming. Okay? So the purpose, like I say, is just to program continuously. Okay, now I'm going to get on to the important stuff. I know a lot of you are really worried about how this is going to be judged. Well, the important thing is that if you are programming and having fun, then you can give me a pass mark. Otherwise, I fail. No, but seriously, like the important thing about this is I'm learning as much as you are. This is a learning experience for me. I don't know how to do this, and I'm pretty sure you're going to discover that quickly enough if you don't know that already. And what I'm hoping is that everything that I do that sucks, you'll just tell me that it sucks, and I'll make it suck less. The cool thing about this class is that, you know, when we're in class, you guys are very interactive and you guys are very comfortable saying stuff to me, telling me things that should change, telling me things that are right and things that are wrong, and asking me questions and making suggestions. So I couldn't possibly have thought of a better group to teach me how to do this. So I'm really lucky to have you guys for this COVID lesson. Okay, so if you guys remember in the first lecture, I said to you guys there's 4 important things that you need in order to learn anything. And the first one was content. Okay, so if you don't have access to the information, it's pretty difficult to learn it, right? The second one was concrete goals. And this was basically about the fact that any bit of information you learn, you fundamentally discard unless it's useful to you. So if, for instance, we said, okay, today we're going to learn about the Android GPS, and suddenly we did an exercise on the GPS and you learned how to use the GPS, you just throw that information away. What you really need is a goal. You need something that says, okay, what I really want to do is make an app that can track people so that I know who I've come into contact with in the last 3 weeks, and if at any point any one of them gets COVID, then they can the app can notify me. So that's more like a concrete goal, and once you have that concrete goal, you'll figure out how to use the GPS because you really want to do this contact tracing thing. Okay, so you definitely need concrete goals. The other important thing is that learning is fundamentally social. So that means that you learn from your peers, you learn from your lecturers, you learn from tutors, all of this is based around people. Another way in which it's social is that your motivation often comes from other people. So I've often found that of my hobbies, the ones that I persist with are the ones that I had friends who did the same thing, right? So I just lost touch with all of the fields that didn't have a social component because they just weren't interesting in the absence of people. The last thing you need, the 4th thing, is positive feedback. Okay, so you need good things to happen because of the stuff you did. This can be as simple as praise, as people looking at your app and going, oh my God, you're really good at this stuff. And what I would really encourage you to do is to demonstrate your programs to family members and friends who you're in contact with, even if it's over the internet. Because you do need to know, you do need to get that feedback of, wow, that stuff you did is actually really, really cool. And of course, that means you'll have to make cool stuff, but we're going to do that, so that's cool. Thanks to the internet, none of this is a problem. We can do all of this despite being under lockdown. So the next question is, well, how are we going to do it? So our course will use a number of different strategies. The first thing is there will be lecture videos posted online. When we stopped with the course, almost everything we needed to do was done. We were already on the web services part of the course. So most of the lecturing is complete. And so what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to add some lectures on that will give you some insight into how I would approach a coding problem and how I would get the code done. So I think what's likely to happen is you're going to end up with actually a better course than the students last year had. For every lecture that we put as a video, I'll also upload a PDF. It'll either be in the form of slides like this one or potentially a longer form document. The main thing about this course is it is driven by programming exercises, so you must do your programming exercises. If you don't have a laptop, make sure you get in contact with the university to get one of the loan laptops that the university has available, because you can't really do this course without being able to program, right? It's a programming course. The tutors and I will be available during the lab times and will respond to questions on the forum. So you should get all the support you need, and if you're not getting that support, I would love to hear about it. Now, we said that for those 4 things, the bit that made it possible was the internet. Okay, now that means we're going to make use of the internet quite extensively, and we're going to use zero-rated services wherever we can. I have set up an online IDE for if you don't have a development environment on your laptop and can't possibly set one up. It isn't fully operational yet, but once it is, I'll post details. You should also check the Moodle software page, which Richard mentioned in his talk, and it will have zero-rated downloads for some of the software we're going to use, including Android Studio and the offline Android Studio library, so you can compile your code without the internet. It'll also have the LAMP stack, which is Apache, MySQL, and PHP, which allows you to do the database and web services part of the course and of the databases course. So it's worth installing that stuff. And eventually a low CPU and bandwidth Android Studio alternative. So for the programming exercises, the first prize is that you use Android Studio, right? That's the sort of official way to make Android programs. But Android Studio is quite resource hungry. It uses a lot of CPU, it uses a lot of data. So I am working on a lighter version of the sort of app environment, and I'll post details and instructions as I get closer to complete with that. So a lot of this is up in the air, but I'll be guided by your feedback in terms of what we can do here. Okay, so in a very real sense, for the assessment, you must hand in your labs. You must hand in your labs on time. I know that this is a challenging time, and I'll be as understanding as I can be, and I'll help you in any way I can to get to those deadlines. But the reason that the deadlines are important is just because the labs form a curriculum, right? Lab 4 must be done before Lab 5, must be done before Lab 6 onwards. And so the problem is that if you're late on any lab, it cuts down on the time you have available to do the next one. So the deadlines are not for my convenience, they're to help you plan how this curriculum is meant to proceed. In terms of the assignment, you'll still have the joint assignment between mobile computing and DBF, and we'll announce topics for that soon. There won't be a class test, and in terms of the exam, the university hasn't yet announced how exams are going to run. But for us, it will definitely be a practical exam because it's a practical course, so it will require you to independently code Java programs and apps. The important thing about this course is it's about having fun programming. So, COVID or not, we're going to have fun programming. And I'd love to hear from you guys about what I should do differently and what I should change as the thing goes on, because like I say, I have no idea what I'm doing. Thank you for sticking around till the end of that. Until the next one, bye.